Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today we are continuing my Terry Pratchett Discworld journey with The Last Hero by Terry Pratchett, which is illustrated by Paul Kidby. If you guys saw my TBR vlog video, you'll know this is one of the first Terry Pratchett reads of 2025 and my first illustrated Pratchett read. I've never read a book in this format and it is very beautiful on the inside. It really is. I mean, look at Cohen. How sexy is that? Such a power stance. But throughout, very beautiful imagery. One of my favorites. I mean, if you've read this book, you can guess what page is going to be my favorite. We have a whole page of dragons. How cute are they? And there is even, on the next page, it tells you all the dragons, what type they are in number order. I just thought that was such a sweet little touch. It's very adorable. I think this is book, I want to say 27, but I could be wrong. As always with my book reviews, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Before I get into that, don't forget if you like what you see to subscribe to this channel. Your continual support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Blurby blurb. He's been a legend in his own lifetime. He can remember the great days of high adventure. He can remember when a hero didn't have to worry about fences and lawyers and civilization. He can remember when people didn't tell you off for killing dragons. But he can't always remember these days where he put his teeth. He's really not happy about that bit. So now, with his ancient sword and his new walking stick and his old friends, and they're very old friends, Cohen the Barbarian is going on one final quest. It's been a good life. He's going to climb the highest mountain in the Discworld and meet his gods. He doesn't like the way they let men grow old and die. It's time, in fact, to give something back. The last hero in the world is going to return what the first hero stole with a vengeance. That'll mean the end of the world if no one stops him in time. Someone is going to try, so who knows who will be the last hero, really. It is one of Rincewind's books as well as Cohen the Barbarian. So we have Rincewind, we have Carrot the Librarian, we have Lord Vetinari, we have Pontus Stivins, Ridcully, and we have Leonard of Quam. So we have a lot of great characters in this. Now, I know it's getting old hearing this on my channel. It does just enter my brain quite often. This came out in 2001, so we're still not at the 2010 mark, which is when I'm going to be far more severe on representation. But there is one woman really in this book and one goddess. But the woman who is Vina the Raven-Haired, I almost wish she just wasn't in it, because for me that would have been better than the way she's represented in it. But anyway, I have only 3 quotes from this book. Although it's big pages, it's quite short. It's not a full Terry Pratchett book, but it is quite fun to read. First one is page 177, and we're just going to go straight into talking about Vina. So she's called Vina the Raven-Haired, okay? But she's also referred to as Mrs. McGarry. Now, McGarry is dead. You never meet Mr. McGarry. So why do we have to lose Vina the Raven-Haired, which is her barbarian name, to become Mrs. McGarry? When he's dead, you don't meet him. So why is her personality and name changed to match her dead husband's? So Pratchett keeps swapping throughout, so it's a little bit confusing. It would just help if she just remained Vina rather than being introduced as Vina and then being called Mrs. McGarry. Then we could have avoided this whole confusion in my brain. But I'm well aware this is partly a me problem, but also the representation of it just doesn't sit right with me. Page 105. Again, I'm sorry. It's about Vina again. You can tell this really stuck with me, alright? Vina is there to cook, but she never actually feels part of the troop of barbarians. So what is the point in her being there? She literally appears and then starts cooking stuff so it always tastes like chicken. But what's the point? She could have just not been there, because the Horde was cooking anyway. They were just eating blubber. So why does she have to be there just to be the cook? Again, we could have just avoided this whole problem of representation if Pratchett just didn't include her. Rant over. Page 57. Evil Harry's crew are just wonderful. They must make you proud. I don't know when I've ever seen a more stupid bunch of henchmen, said Cohen. Harry, you're like a refreshing fart in a room full of roses. I just love that. So Pratchett is toying with the trope of how the villains always have evil henchmen who are just always really stupid. Always. They always make it really easy for the hero to escape and things like that. And I found the references to that really fun. It is a Rincewind story, so it has the usual sort of Rincewind issues. The plot's okay, but not the best. The representation I really wasn't happy with. But it's a Pratchett, and it is a fun read. You're going to laugh, especially with Carrot, Rincewind, and Leonard, and the Librarian. Their chapters were my favourite. They definitely made me laugh the most. The Barbarian chapters were fun, but I kind of found them everything's told to you because it's a short read. So Pratchett doesn't tell you about the fights. They just happen in the background and it's sort of summed up. So it's not as fun to me, but it was quite enjoyable. I'll go into my overall reviews of this now. Enjoyment, I'll give it 6 out of 10. Writing style, 10 out of 10. It's Pratchett. World building, 10. Plot, 5. It's like, I mean, after reading Masquerade and The Fifth Elephant, it's like we've gone a little bit backwards in this one. Characterization, 8. Representation, 5. Just wasn't doing it for me. And originality, 10. Overall, I would give this 3 stars out of 5. It's not my favourite. It's not one I would necessarily reread, but it is one I would say is a good coffee table book. Like, it's fun to pick up and, you know, read random bits through, or even just to look at the illustrations, because look how gorgeous that is. The illustrations are fantastic. There's also a point that Matt made of, because they use the dragons, why didn't he just use Sybil? You know, there were other women instead of Vina, who he never uses, and the goddess, who doesn't really use either, Lady Luck. He could have just had Sybil come to control the dragons, and at least she would have had a purpose and a point to be in there and filled a representation number, I guess. But for the rest of it, I mean, it's Pratchett, it's fun, you'll have a good time. It just didn't hit as well as some of Pratchett's previous ones, but obviously it is for an illustrated version. It is a book for Pratchett fans if you want to have a collection, more so than a Discworld Pratchett book to follow on the series, as it were. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. I post my books, pictures, as well as some writing tips and unboxings on there. I believe the next Pratchett book in the Discworld series is actually the amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents, which I've actually already read. I done a book review of. I'll pop that link above me now if you would like to go straight to the next Discworld review. And after that, I think we are returning to Sam Vimes, because I believe it is Night's Watch, which I'm looking forward to. It's said to be one of the really good ones. Fun times coming up. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!